to the question of whether your memory actually is permanently erased when you erase stuff, there's two different versions of how it works on
different versions
of how memory is erased on the computer. Oftentimes the standard way that you erase things, like send it to the trash and things, doesn't actually necessarily erase anything from the hard drive.
But then when you delete it from the trash can, it does, right?
Ish. So what it does is, and this is,
could you be more clear?
This is kind of part theory, kind of it's I haven't 100% confirmed it, but a lot of times what the computers do, just to save time and efficiency, is it'll switch the data set of the numbers so that it'll just ignore that data set and learn to write over it over time. So if you have a certain amount of data that you erased, it'll just, once you decide to erase it, it just sets it aside and then eventually will write over it. Now,
so when it writes over, like, okay, so if it's a little laser etching over, it's not like it like shaves off for a clean layer for the next time and there's just a minor imprint or something like that?
No, so the way, and this goes into like how hard drives actually operate, which it's not, because the etching isn't like a physical etching.
We're getting into like the engineering of hard drives.
It doesn't like it isn't like it's able to be swiped away and reset, but it's not actually physically damaging the disks to do it.
Oh, okay, this is some dense.
And then you also have formatting the hard drive, which is literally just going through and scrubbing it. There's programs that you can use, like there's a nuke program that you can use to wipe out a hard drive of all data.
So those ones, in theory, like, it shouldn't be retrievable. Like, say you had personal information and you were gonna sell or pass it on.
In theory, they wouldn't be retrievable unless you had some super high-end equipment, which is like you have, there's places, where there's places that you can go for data recovery, and they bring it into a clean room, and they have like these little clean suits, and it's particle free zone, and they literally have to open up the hard drive, and I'm not exactly sure what they do, but the way they akined it to was, it was like trying to save all your books in a burning house. Right, like you had to, once they get into a certain part of their operation of recovering the data is going to self-destruct, because I don't know what they're doing. It's just not supposed to be exposed, or however it is. As you get to a certain point of this retrieval process, they have to work fast, because eventually the data is just gonna get wiped. But yeah, in theory, if you have that kind of setup to get data off that way, even if you nuke it through programming, there's still something on that drive. Whether it's worth anything or not is Lord only knows. And oftentimes that task isn't even, well, it's actually more successful than not, but there is a chance that task doesn't even work. Like, they could just get nothing off the hard drive still.